but like I think they might switch it up depending on the last pick from NoPing here, because I think they want a favorable matchup for those heroes. But these heroes are all great ninth pick heroes. They don't really get countered by anything in lane, to say it. Yes. So what does a NoPing need? They have they're 4, they're 5, they're 3 and 1 presumably, or they're 2. So they need a carry here.
It could be a mid. I don't really see Lapsus going Shaker mid or Skyreth really.
It could be Gyro mid though. Gyro mid's pretty popular. I mean, it's pretty decent against their heroes too. So it's Slark. So Lapsus is playing.
Yeah,
Uh,
Lapsus is their mid.
okay, Lapsus and Terrence is the
Carry.
Gyrocopter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So they think, yeah, like I said, they pick Slark mid, assuming it's going to be a tiny, and so I think based on that, they can probably make a change. Yeah, they're gonna
Oh,
send
they
DP mid,
okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
right? Because like I don't think you want to send a tiny against the Slark because melee against Slark is usually just no fun. But now like they get to play DP against Slark, which is I think still fairly decent. It's not the worst lane for Slark, but it's definitely better than what Tiny would do in lane. And Tiny Force has been nerfed because of toss cooldown, but he's still pretty good. Especially with Coddle behind you, being able to just refresh your spells later on, you get to have a toss combo like with a 3 second downtime. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm actually so surprised that the Tiny made it that far into the draft. Like usually he's been either first or second phase ban.
Yeah. Maybe they just forget about them. Sometimes you just forget about the heroes, Like, because the hero just gets banned or, like, picked so fast early on that, like, you, like, go into the second phase and then you forget that, like, that hero existed. And you're like, oh my god, that hero's just been left, untouched. And all of a sudden you just pick it up last pick. Somebody's like, hey guys, did you know that Tiny's not picked? And they're like, oh, you're right. And we just pick it up last pick. This Ogre has 19 victories predicted in a row. This guy's a god prediction. He predicts this one. He's definitely gonna win,
Do
I
you see
think.
that one previous match? 21-7, 12 silencer, and they lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like Slark is still gonna go mid. And he does not care that he's going up against the DP.
Lapsus has had a fairly okay qualifiers. He's had some really good Leshrac games and
Mm-hmm.
has been pretty dominant at times, but there's just sometimes the matchup tends to do him over a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I think like it depends on the matchup. This game, I feel like it's not like the most favorable matchup for Slark, but he'll do fine. And as long as he manages to get his drums defusal blade this game, he will have impact. Because his hero does really well against Lifestealer. Pretty decent against Carlo as well, assuming he doesn't get an early force staff, which he probably won't because he's a 5. And then he's also pretty good against Kunkka. Um, not the best against Tiny, but I'm sure he'll manage.
A couple of early wards being placed down. You have the dire side cliff one placed by the Radiant, and this Earthshaker's getting a little bit aggressive.
It looks like they're setting up to gank top here. It's already still tossed. And the burn is just baiting here. I think they want to draw him deeper inside, but oh, he's running in.
So actually make a play for both runes in top. And Lifestealer did manage to pick that up. Illuminate comes through. This Skywrath made very low. Toss will be able to secure the first blood. But Earthshaker does go and pick up the bounty rune top, so that means it's going to be a 3-for-1 in terms of runes going to NoPing.
And that's a really good fissure block by the Shaker there. It's completely shutting off the the Coddle from picking up the rune. The Coddle could have actually denied it, I think, but I don't know. Maybe he was out of range.
And maybe he thought he could still get it.
Yeah, maybe.
In any case, we go into the laning phase, mid lane. Most of these auto attacks seem to be going towards the heroes as opposed to last hits. And we've got a pause.
It's a very early pause. Tactical pause though. Bottom lane seems to be very favored towards Radiant. The Tiny's already recognized this, and he's just gonna pull creeps. It's gonna be really annoying. Uh, and Greedy's trying to is gonna try to get whatever XP he can. I think Tidehunter, not Tidehunter, Kunkka in the off lane tends to be really weak until it gets a couple of levels. Uh, Tidebringer's not the strongest level 1. Torrent's not too good level 1 either. He usually needs to have a good setup from his pause 4 in order to be really successful in the lane. So I think he's just going to try to sap as much as he can while his Tiny messes up the lane equilibrium so he gets a little bit more. Do you speak any Spanish?
No, I don't.
Okay.
They're
I
saying
think that after watching all these games, you would be fluent.
no, they don't always talk so much. It seems like they're saying that their carry needs a little bit more time.
Okay.
Well done, my beauties.
Yata back. Alright, he's back.
That's obviously what that means.
Into the unpause. I think that meant yeah, he's back, right? Yata back? Something like that. I don't know. I don't speak a lick of Spanish aside from the the bad words that they say in like pubs. So. Oh, top lane.
Yeah, another good Fidget block from King gets them the kill on Coddle.
Yeah. This is a very annoying lane. I do, as a carry player now, I do not like playing against Gyrath mages. Like, this hero is so annoying. He spams all his like spells, he gets low on mana, commits suicide at the tower, and then he comes back and does it all over again. It's actually extremely annoying. And there's nothing you can do about it as the carry, you know, or the 5 for that back. You just sit there, just tank arcane bolts to the face. And you're like, well, I guess that's my life now. Secures all the range creeps. It's a very good 4, honestly. Very high damage output hero.
Yeah, you see a lot of heroes that end up doing that, spamming their spells and then going for a suicide.
Right. And Prada's doing a good job, though. He's getting these pulls off, which is very important. Lifesteal is going to be able to secure the last hits on the tower. Because usually, if you're just laning head-to-head against a Skywrath Shaker, you're probably just going to get zoned as the Carl Lifestealer. So every pull that you can get off is really important in trying to get CS. So Prada's doing a good job here.
Tiny picks up an Invis Rune and starts making his way towards mid, and will be cut out by the scan there. So Lapsus already knows what's up in this lane. He knows that there is a Tiny.
That's a smart scan right there from him. He seems to be doing really well mid. He's like 13 CS to the DP's 11 and 5. And sure, DP has a couple of denies, but in this matchup, I would think that DP would have the upper hand early on. But yeah. He's being zoned right now, though, by this Invis Tiny.
I think he more just knew about it. Like, he doesn't want to get tossed out like that. Right. Top lane, Lifesteal are actually to fall.
Yeah, this is a very scary lane to play against. He's hit 3 on the Shaker, and I think Lifesteal just wasn't expecting it when he went to the CS, so he got Enchant to a Fissure. And the burst from Skywrath was way too much. Oh no. The Coddle goes down again. And guess what? He's just gonna go commit suicide. The tower. He's gonna wait too, actually. I think he might try to fake and wait for a. Oh, he's actually gonna kill himself. Alright.
Oh, but
usually you have to wait like 25 seconds. Yeah. You have to wait like 25 seconds before you don't give credit to the enemy, but I don't think he's willing to wait that long. So, or he was trying to force a TP from Carl.
Does literally nothing. Slark soaking up some of the damage with his raindrop.
Yeah.
And Skywrath goes to mid. They start to get aggressive onto her. They see the Tiny there, so they really don't want to go any further. Meanwhile, Gyrocopter is still getting kills at bottom. So this aggression is probably not the best. Skywrath over to the side trying to escape from the Death Prophet, but she's got the Spirit Siphon to chase him down. Skywrath mage actually kind of fast. Avalanche is there, and one last Crypt Swarm gets them the kill. Lapsus looking for a leap onto the Death Prophet. She's juking as best as she can, but Lapsus waits until he sees the Whites of Arias and goes for this one. Fire Blast there as well, and they clean up the mid.
That was very well played by the Ogre. That was a great rotation. He strolls over, picks up an Arcane Rune, gets 2 stuns off because of the Arcane Rune, and the Bloodlust on the Slark, which is what allowed them to get the kill. I think the Slark's doing pretty well in this lane now. DP is not the... I mean, obviously she wants to win her lane against like a melee hero, but I think she's... she'll catch back up. It's 5 minutes, the runes are gonna spawn, King already really low top. Burnout might catch him off guard here. Oh, he does hit the rune though. Very well played.
He doesn't have enough attack speed to get that kill.
Yeah. He didn't have any backup. I think the Tiny was very focused on trying to secure the Either rune. They do get it, Prada does pick it up, but I feel like they should have just focused on getting the kill on Shaker there. But I guess he just shrines up and goes back to lane anyway, so it doesn't really matter. How's Terrence doing? He's doing pretty good. He's got a Wraith Band, he's got a Wand. Very good item this game.
Yep, he's 1-0 and he's keeping up with the Lifestealer and last hits. He's not really had a difficult lane at all. The Kunkka hasn't been able to do a huge amount here. And keeping that lane
I think
back.
that he's gonna have to buy like a bunch of stats this game because they have quite a bit of like magical burst damage. He either has to buy stats or has to buy early BKB. It never feels too good to buy early BKB on Jaro. Oh, Greedy goes down.
Yeah.
Again. This guy is not having a good time. He has 16 CS, and he's still level 5. I mean, he is level 5 though. He's gonna get his level 6 soon. He's been getting his XP because Tiny hasn't been bottom, but he has not got any CS or at all. Like, he does have boots. He's working towards his phase, but you can tell from his inventory that like he has sat in the trees for most of this game. He hasn't had to use his tangos or his salve, so he's just been trying to get XP wherever he can.
Man, that's been so unfortunate. The a couple of the Illuminates from the Coddle have been just to the side of some of these heroes, so they're missing out on that damage, which is making it difficult to find these kills.
Yeah. Lifestealer on his own doesn't really do much damage until he like gets some items later on. So he is getting very close to his Midas though. He just picked up his Glove of Haste. Actually not, he's really far away. He's like 1.7k further away. So Carl's just clearing up the stacks here in top. Got a good pull. I think for now, everybody's just content with farming. Like, everybody needs a core item. Slark needs to find his boots first. Maybe a Diffuse the Blade. Shaker needs a Blink. You know, Skyrath Mage and obviously Ogre can do whatever they want. And I think Gyrocopter wants to wait for at least like drums and at least Wraith Band before he tries to fight anyone. Lifestealer is obviously very content with farming as well. Oh, they get a kill on King RD top.
And they're looking for the kill on the Death Prophet mid, which they get. The rotation of 2 supports, so it's a trade.
I think that definitely favors NoPing, because kill on DP is pretty important. I think DP getting leveled. Oh.
Tiny. Meanwhile, there's a boat in the mid lane going after the Slark. Slark doesn't have an ultimate. He used it in the last gank. So now the Gyrocopter surprisingly joins here. Prada staying alive, gives some mana over to the Tiny, who promptly dies. Unfortunate there. Both of these heroes from bottom have rotated in.
Does Greedy hit this torrent? Oh.
Nice little dodge.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
And Terrence very quickly gets back towards bottom to continue his farm.
Yeah. Just as I said, like, they wanted to farm, just rotate mid and kill people. Oh!
This is what we were talking about. Lifestealer just does not have a whole lot of tools to stay alive once that initial control comes in from NoPing.
Yeah. I think it's important that when you do leave your safe laner top alone like that and he intends on farming, it's important to get him a lane ward. I think Radiant did a very good job in like putting a sentry down here in the top hill to ensure that they don't have vision. Guy doesn't have vision of the lane. So I think that's what probably got them the kill. He couldn't get rage off in time because he had silence anyway. So it's rough. Exorcism gets popped in the mid lane. They really want to get this tower. I think Radiant is going to make their way down mid lane.
Fissure a little bit off the
Oh.
mark. Lifestealer not getting hit by it. So there's no need for that rotation to continue. But they do want to have some kind of answer to this Slark, so 2 heroes are being sent up. Tiny's been doing a lot to try to control this game, but it hasn't seemed too effective.
I mean, I think, yeah, it's just generally hard because of the toss cooldown now with the nerf. You got it at level 1, and if you don't have successful ganks with toss, you're generally kind of just stuck with like the spell that doesn't really help you do anything else. Like you can like run around and toss people back into the tower, but people have been more aware nowadays of like their positioning and like where the Tiny is in general, so they don't really get caught off by this toss.
Ogre
Ogre
walks
just
away
yoinks
from
the
2 heroes.
Yeah, he just like yoinks the bounty and the regen, and then he just walks away. Alright, but the tomes are up though. Tiny's 5, it's gonna cost him back. But he has no siphons. I don't think Ogre is dying here. He has 10, 11 stick, and raindrops. It's gonna be fine.
He's so tanky.
He is.
As we take a look at the net worth, you see the Lifestealer very close to his Midas, and he is at the top of it right now, going for the phase boots first. And Slark is not as close to his Midas and a little bit behind the Lifestealer. Knocked to the low ground by the blinding light. Avalanche will chase him down, and there could be a toss, but the Tiny's not really close enough to be able to get that.
Yeah, the Slark pop Shadow Dance just in time there to get away from the toss by the Tiny. Good play by him. He is the highest net worth right now. I mean, Lifestealer is the highest net worth, but they're all pretty close in terms of all the cores on both teams. Everybody's around the 4,000 mark.
They're all really close at the top.
Yeah.
X marks the spot on the Ogre. And a boat. And a torrent. And an Illuminate. And guess what? This Ogre's still alive.
He didn't even have to pop his stick there. He's been collecting these wand charges. He's got 16 now. I think eventually when they actually do try to commit on it, he's
There's a
gonna pop the wand.
combo. But she's still alive, and she'll probably be fine. We're still chasing this down. Alright, there you go. It's a really good Fissure Mystic Flare combo.
Yeah. Most times when you have the Sky Force, you generally want to stun in your off lane. Like an Axe or a Legion helps you set up really well. Here's Mystic Flare.
X marks the Tidebringer, Avalanche Toss combo. Guess what? The Ogre is still alive.
There's a wand charges.
Echo Slam's still there. The Fissure keeps the Kunkka in, and King will be the one to block off Greedy from any kind of exit here. Torrent does hit, but the missile comes through, and Kunkka's the one to fall, even after he tried to initiate on the wrong hero.
I mean, this Ogre is just not dying. I think Darius got to give up trying to kill this Ogre now. They've been committing way too many resources in trying to kill this Ogre. And they're just not doing it. This Ogre's just living through every single one of them. He has a wand and a raindrop. And that's all he needs. The man has 1.2k health. He's a 5 player.
He's about to dive this tower.
He is. He's got 10 armor. Oh my god. Tier is so tanky. Oh, Prada? The shrine?
Prada gets there, but is he going to be able to get out? The boat comes through. The X marks the spot combo a little bit off, but the Ignis Fatus to come down and take care of the rest of the supports. Finally, the Ogre's dead. You can see him sinking down right there.
True. He finally died, but 2 ultimates are committed. And this is the part where you all chat as the Ogre. 2 ults for what? I'm 5, you know? Like, to be fair, he is 5, and he is the lowest net worth, but he's made a lot of space with just his body, so. Slark's got his Midas, he's gonna keep farming. So does Lifestealer, they both want to keep farming.
Kunkka's, I guess, a little bit more survivable right now. Not like he needed it. Haste Rune on King, but yeah, they're probably not going to be able to take down the Kunkka. He just got his Hood of Defiance.
And a casual bracer, so he's got a lot of magic resistance. It'll be hard to commit on him. This Kunkka is like the ogre of the Dire, you know? Like, Radiant have an ogre, and Kunkka is the ogre on the other team.
Yeah, the one difference is Kunkka's a core.
Right. He needed items to be that tanky. Ogre didn't need anything. He's got a Tranquil Boots, not an ogre. Ooh, but he doesn't have raindrops
He
though.
would win.
It's
A
gonna be
farm
good.
sailor or a poor ogre boy.
This ogre looks like he wants to go to the beach though. Oh, they missed the torrent. Does clip on the Illuminate.
Blink forward,
Oh,
going for
Tiny's-
the rune. Toss back on the Skywrath Mage, and he's very dead here. But guess what? Before he goes, he has a little bit of a goodbye present. Gives it to the Tiny. He's dead. So is the Earthshaker, though. So that advantage will go over to the Dire side.
I mean, in the meantime, honestly, the real winners of this match are the Slark and the Lifestealer. Two of them are just farming. They don't care what happens in this game.
Yeah, PvE is a great game.
Right. I love to play Farmville too.
Starting with
Been
the
a while,
stun
though.
onto Kunkka. X marks onto Lapsus. He does have the ultimate available. The turn will go up. Ignis Fadis is there. He's put to sleep. He's been silenced. Can they actually? Nope. Can't kill the Slark. But now they do. As they have enough AoE damage to find that kill. Tiny, though, will fall. Just another sacrifice for the cause of the Dire side. King walking on up. Listen, he can't really kill off the Kunkka here, so it's not worth it to lose the Echo Slam.
I think they're really preparing to clear this giant ancient stack here on the side of Radiant. It's gonna be a lot of XP. Gyro's gonna finally finish up his axe from this.
Ooh, but Prada wants in. I don't know if he knows about it. They're gonna check with the turret.
The boats? I don't think he's gonna take any creeps from this. Oh, he
We'll
got
get
two.
the stun. Illuminate to come through.
Oh, Ogre's
Ogre.
like 10 health.
Well,
This guy
he's
is
an ogre.
a mad lad.
He's still alive.
Yeah. This ogre is doing work, man. He's like tanking spells, living on the edge.
He's just there.
No, they had a ward there too. Like so, yeah. Ogre gets the D ward. This guy is on fire. Why can't my pause 5 be like this? Damn.
Because your pause
It's
5
good
is
work.
an ogre.
True, true. And right in the drab, I was just flaming 5 ogre. Look at me eat my words right now. This man doesn't need multicast Hex or E-Blades or Dagons to be good. He just walks in. Just strolls on in, tanks the spells for his cores. Doesn't die. Key point here. Shaker does have his blink though, so you gotta look for those Skywrath Shakers. Gonna run together now. I think the only person they can't kill is the Kunkka, or it's gonna be really hard to kill. But almost everyone else on the side of Dire will die if they get caught by this Fisher and Chant Mystic Flare combo. He does have a Veil as well.
Does have some survivability in the Eagle Scepter.
Right. But I don't think he could. I mean, if he gets chain stunned, he's just gonna die. I don't think there's a way he's gonna get rules off. Yeah, they're gonna look to run together now. Shaker, Skywrath Mage. Dire wants to make a move though. It's a sneaky wrap around the back.
They're going for the wraparound. They have Tiny Blink for initiation.
They got a good ward.
They got some good vision here, and a creep who's also helping them out. We had yesterday we had a melee creep kill off a ranged Rex from about half health, and also a moon well. It was ridiculous.
Oh. They almost just got Brenna there. Brenna just started TPing without rage, and
then he remembered, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, but it doesn't matter. We got to jump in from King. Echo Slam to hold him in. That's a silence as well. Mystic Flare to get the kill. They drop the Ignis Fadis on it. Exorcism coming through from the Death Prophet. And now NoPing are so deep, they've really got to get back. Blink in from the Tiny back into the Ignis Fadis for the Blinding Light, but they're still going after this Ogre. Eventually he does fall, but they spent a lot of time on this. And Slark has gotten into the fight. Lapsus going over to the side. He needs a little bit more mana, and he's gotten it stolen away from him. He's switched over to his intelligence boots, but it's not helping him out enough. They managed to come in from the side anyway and try to help out.
Terrence is here. Is there any TPs to the shrine? I feel like Radiant has better vision in this fight. Alright, they de-warded. It's really good.
After that fight, it's a 600 gold change in favor of Unknown. And this Blaster keeps farming his way towards the Radiance.
Yeah, that kind of set him back a little bit, but I mean, he's just gonna be on his way now. Farming up more creeps. Slark's going for a Scotty. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like the Slark needs a BKB this game. He's dying to just the AoE magic damage from
Zoning Mystic Flare, easy.
put on the hill and no one wants to walk through.
They were going for the bounty runes, so it makes sense.
I feel like one of these days, like I just kind of want to play like a tanky hero like Kuka, buy a blade mail, see a Mystic Flare get dropped down, you know, just pop it and walk right into it, and just watch the Skywrath die. Probably gonna be the most satisfying feeling. Blade mills are actually a pretty good item this game. You know, you could buy 4 blade mills on Radiant as well, and just insta kill the Coddle as he illuminate charges. That'd be pretty funny.
That's like the Reddit post where you see teams playing against Tinker and they all buy blade mail and they walk into the marsh. Right. And the Tinker's like, no.
Those are the things that only happen in dreams or on Reddit.
Yeah, it only happens on Reddit. It never actually happens.
Right.
It never actually works in real life.
Right, only on Reddit. I don't know, but I really want to see the Shaker and the Sky run together a little bit more. This Skywrath mage low-key kind of just farming in the bot lane. Alright, there's a toss back, and he kind of just TPs away. I'm not sure what the goal there was, but yeah, this Shaker probably needs to start running around with the Sky lane. Because like this Slark in the top
lane, trouble in the mid lane. This fast goes down, and he's not got a BKB, so that just means he's dead. Ogre trying to get out, and guess what? Not so safe Arbor, eh?
Yeah, I'm not sure what Radiant's doing right now. I think they need to run together on the Shaker and Sky.
Yeah, Shaker and Sky has done well as a combo when they've actually been playing together this game. Also, Skywrath has the Veil of Discord, so that makes the Shaker a little bit happy as far as combo damage.
Right. But they haven't been running together, so you can't really be a combo if you're never together, right? So, alright, they are running together right now, so I think they heard us. Sky's also looking to buy a blink, so he can really follow up with the blink as well.
Laps is doing his best to evade the gang's top. He's going to TP out, but there's a Yule Scepter to keep him there.
He's dead. So Darius is gonna walk it down top lane. They've hit the timing, you know, they've got a Radiance and Sange on the Lifestealer. He's about to hit his Halberd as well. It's gonna be a really annoying game to play as Slark. Jarakopta needs to buy his BKB ASAP. The mid tower is still standing though. I think this is the biggest mistake that Radiant's made. Mid tower is still alive. I felt like they should have committed at some point in this game to taking this tower.
They have made their way to bottom. Should be an easy tower to get, so at least they get one off the map. But yeah, that mid tower is giving the dire side a lot more control that NoPing just don't really have access to right now.
Right. And I mean, like in the meantime, when the Lifestealer was farming his Midas and Radiance, like Gyrocopter is an active carry. They could definitely have rotated the carry player mid lane. Just take the tower. I don't know. Now Darius kind of just walking down lanes now. Nothing they can do about it. They've almost got a solar crest on Kuka. Lifestealer is almost finishing with Halberd. Atoon's got his BKB. Darius hit their timing. They're ready to go high ground. Probably want to pick up all the towers, auto towers, and Roshan before they do that. Probably give it to Lifestealer though. But yeah,
that's really silly.
Probably has a dodge.
You had your Earthshaker and Skywrath maze just waiting top, waiting for someone to go ahead and try to defend this lane. And while that was happening, the dire side just went for the tier 2 tower top. Now, sure, Coddle's going to die, but where's the rest of the team? They're in Roshan.
Yeah. I feel like Radiance is getting outmaneuvered. Like they're just one step behind constantly. Maybe they didn't understand their personal timing and just lost Roshan because of it.
Well, I think that they
Now,
were a little bit too intent on their timing. They were waiting for their gyrocopter to get the BKB until they started fighting, and as a result, they're just giving up so much of the map.
right. Well, Exorcism is down. Radiant can potentially look to fight here, especially when the rune timing. He's going to spot the lifestealer, right? But he does have Aegis, so TP reactions would have been in time there to save his friend. Greedy gets spot out here, bottom, by a ward, but there's no one there to follow up. They smoke up with the Radiant. I think they know that the lifestealer's here because of where he was farming, but I don't think they can kill him
He's
twice.
so dead.
Like one time for sure.
The courier is
But
here to
definitely
help.
second.
He's got the halberd completed for him. He'll rage out and get his halberd. Luckily, the Radiant side were out fast enough before the Kunkka could get the X marks the spot down.
That was a good play by Radiant. They knew that he was going to be farming there because King already spotted him running up top past the bounty rune afterwards. And so he ran that way, and then they just ganked him. Getting rid of the edges is really good because you generally don't want to commit too much into killing a Lester with Aegis if his teammates are around. Lapsus is bottom. He has his BKB. It's very good.
It's a rarely seen double scan hit.
Oh, look at the lines being drawn by this guy. He just drew lines on all 3 lanes. This man wants all the lanes pushed.
Oh, come on. I can do that. See, look. Now I'm a pro player.
That's what it takes. If you can draw 3 lines, you are a pro player. Right.
Great.
Radiance hit the timing too. They got BKB on Gyro. They got BKB on Slark. Slark says enough is enough. I want the mid tower dead. He mans up and just says hitting it on his own. He's like, I don't need a team for this. I'm doing it.
Oh.
I don't care. Oh, 2 4 staffs into the arms of Slark. Oh,
We've got a fight going in the mid lane. Mystic Flare, Echo Slam on top of it. Tiny is taking a lot of damage, but he doesn't really care. They just go right after the Earthshaker. And this was a very strange fight from the onset for NoPing. They lose their Earthshaker. They've got a Gyrocopter trying to push in top, but he might not be able to do a whole lot against a Kato that keeps killing all of his creeps.
Right. So I'm gonna push him away now too. Oh, he does die. Okay. That's a good play by Gyro. Now they're gonna be forced to TP at least 2 people top now. They cannot TP just Tiny. And okay, so they buy back a Coddle. I think they could probably potentially try to kill the Ogre off here. They see him. They have a stun. Yep.
That's a very long
Barely
avalanche.
stunning him. Yeah. Dude, this guy's actually so tanky. Holy crap. Wrong tree, Ogre! That's a valiant attempt though. He tried to cut the tree to hide. I think he was dead anyway, so. DD rune for a tune. He's gonna give it to Berna. He's gonna bottle it up. He's got his halberd. It's gonna be a really hard game for Slark to play if he doesn't pop BKB. He's gonna try to buy a Scotty. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't really like Scotty Diffusal BKB on Slark. I feel like it's way too defensive in the sense that this BKB allows you to stand and man fight, but like you don't really do all that much damage until you hit like 20-30 stacks on the hero. So like, sure, you will get the 30 stacks with the BKB, but like once your BKB wears out, you're kind of useless and you do die to the magic damage from Dire. So I'd much rather see him build an attack speed damage item like Butterfly. I'm sure the health is nice, but he does need attack. Oh,
Initiation
stun
in the
and
mid.
can. Mystic Flare.
Slam.
Oh, he's alright. He's dead.
He's still on cooldown for Echo
close.
Slam, but they managed to get that kill anyway. And
Greedy.
Lester's thinking
Greedy's
about
very
his timing.
tanky. He's
let
just
NoPing
taunting
have
away.
it. Yeah. There's a lot of taunting going on this game. NoPing just end up get a bone there. Like they shouldn't have a right to be winning a whole lot of these fights, but
Yeah.
I don't say, you know what? it's probably better for us to group up, wait for our Tiny to get a little bit closer to respawn.
Back to point.
One thing to note is that if he chooses to keep doing this X thing, King already does have a Yules, and if he times it properly towards the end of the X, Kunkka will be stuck wherever he is if he does not pull himself back early enough, so he should be careful. I'm sure Greedy knows that though, so... The runes spawned. Radiant looks like they're gonna get 3. They scan out the TP from Dire and give up. Okay. It's a good play. Skyrim is very farm though.
Coddle's gotten only a 4 staff. I'm just like waiting for this Coddle to actually have a couple more items. He's sitting at 1800 gold right now.
It's life of a pause 5 though, you know? It's, gotta do what you gotta do. This Ogre doesn't even have any items. Just has 1 staff of wizardry. He does have his 4 staff as well coming out on Chicken. This Ogre and this Coddle have very similar items. Like, very similar. They have like a Bracer, and then Coddle has 2, but they also have a Force Staff, and a Wand, and a Tranquil Boots. And they both carry smokes and wards.
Big initiation onto Terrence here in bottom. He'll BKB and TP out, and that'll be the end of it.
Is Ogre gonna be lucky? Oh, Ogre's...
It depends how fast this Tiny dies. Slark, there's a silence. He gets to the low ground, and they actually manage to get that Mystic Flare. Gives them the burst that they need. This game is still so close at 31 minutes. Less than a 1k gold lead for NoPing Esports.
Yeah. I think both teams have failed to wreck. Like, they've tried to initiate on things, but it's just been very sloppy, you know? There hasn't been any, like, reliable initiation aside from this Shaker Fissure. And on Dire, you know, it's kind of mostly just, like, X or, like, a Tiny Toss combo. Aside from that, I think that's why the fights haven't been going too well. There's no, like, clear, I stun, you stun, he dies kind of thing. Aside from the Shaker guy. But they haven't been running together too much, so... Oh, smoke. They see the haste. Oh, smoke pops.
Oh my gosh. Coddle is eyes got a little bit too big for himself there.
Right. He's dead for 90. Guys, is that a dieback? Why is he dead for so long? Oh, 18.
He did buyback about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so that's probably why his death timer's 90 seconds. Kunkka's got his BKB as well. Nice port there.
Yeah, he's so tanky. 2,700 health.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, being tanky is nice and all for Kunkka, but, like, the Dire's just gonna ignore you, you know? Like, what? Okay, Terrence just BKBs. He's just gonna walk out now.
It's a long TP.
I don't know about the BKB, Terrence. I feel like, maybe it's okay.
Well, he's being very safe. That is an 8-second cooldown, so he's basically used both of his BKBs to TP away.
It's not what you want to do with your BKBs. As far as I know. I like my BKBs as long as possible, but maybe he just likes it 5. Slark has his Scotty now. Hopefully after Scotty he doesn't buy another defensive item, because this man needs some attack speed is all I'm saying. I think that, now that I think about it, you know, Scotty's not the worst because he has Bloodlust. Got it. His Midas is off cooldown. It's triggering me. Alright, he uses it. It always hurts, you know, when you see like, oh, he knows his BKB is down. It's actually up again. Is he gonna BKB? Oh no. Dude, it's Tiny. It feels bad, man. This guy keeps going in for his team and just dies to his Mystic Flare. Yeah,
and you have Slark going for the back lines. He was X-back. Now it's time for Achin to go for the Exorcism right after the Earthshaker. Earthshaker doing his best to get out, and as soon as that BKB is over, he will probably turn things around onto that Death Prophet. Meanwhile, though, you've got Lapsus getting a kill onto the Coddle. So that was the 1 kill to go on here. Laps is getting interrupted a little bit by the Avalanche, but his BKB is there. Here comes the Echo Slam. King in with it. He uses the Yule Scepter to stay alive. Laps is still going for this one, but the Exorcism is doing so much damage. The ghosts are spoopy. The Death Prophet falls, and this fight is not looking too great at all anymore for the Dire side. That'll be the full 5-man team wipe, a triple kill for Terrence, who got initiated on and manages to keep himself up there.
Yeah, like, it's just a hard game to play for Dire now because there's almost no target that's really easy to go on for Dire because Slark's really tanky, Ogre's really tanky, and you don't really want to blow all your spells on Ogre either. Shaker's really tanky with his BKB of his own, and the only targets you can go for are this Gyro and the Skywrath Mage. And Skywrath Mage has done a really good job just positioning himself to the back, and you don't really have damage. You're just tickling them with this Radiance. And like I said, Kunkka has a lot of health and BKB, but if he's just going to be tickling with his like Tidebringers, there's almost he doesn't pose a threat to Radiant, so they can pretty much just ignore him and kill him last, like they did in the last fight. So I think Dire needs to fight on their terms.
Yeah, they need to fight on their terms, and they have to be a little bit more aware of where the Slark is during the fight. I think that was, like, when the Slark is going for your backlines, it becomes so much more difficult to fight on the unknown side.
Alright. Because the Coddle was dead really early on in that fight. He got picked up by the Slark in the backline. He didn't get his Ignis status off, or Will-O-Wisp. And so, he can't refresh his Lifestealer's Rage. I think this Coddle is a very big key in ensuring that Dire win their team fights. He's got a second item. He's got a Glimmer Cape. He's not going to die as fast. He gets to kite Slark around a little bit more. But Slark's got a DD room, so assuming Slark is another defensive item. I don't know about this one. I guess with Bloodlust is okay, but maybe he needs some lockdown against I'd like to see a Basher, honestly.
A hail of pings hitting Lapsus here. He doesn't really care where he goes. He might be going into a lot of trouble though. Uses the Shadow Dance to go after Tiny. He's kind of on his own here, so he uses the BKB on top of the Shadow Dance. He's still going after the Tiny, but he needs a little bit more space here. He needs to get back towards his team, and they are slowly arriving into this fight. He's used the double damage rune as well. Terrence arrives to the fight. It's going to be a full 5-on-5 battle in the bottom lane. Greedy moving around. He's still got his bow and his torrent. The Ogre will be the first one to fall as the Lifestealer puts his big, meaty hands into him. Now the Slark in so much trouble. Eats the trees though, so he will stay up, but Gyrocopter loses his Aegis. Now for the second phase of the fight, King gets his Echo Slam onto a few, and can King RD do enough to stay alive here? Has the Enchant Totem, trying to put out a little bit more damage there, finds the Coddle, but the Coddle has a Glimmer Cape and stays alive, and now Terrence has been surrounded by 3. Lots of buybacks from the Radiant side. They really want to try to win this battle. I feel like it's going to be more difficult for them than they think. Lapsus in with the leap. They'll find the Coddle. Anything else right now? X marks the spot a little bit late. That really should be the end of it.
Well, that was 3 buybacks from Radiant. They actually got team wiped. So I think that fight was very, very chaotic. The Skywrath got picked off really early, and so did the Ogre. And I think this Slark just committed his DD and BKB way too early in the fight, He committed it on the Tiny, which he didn't get the kill on, and then so he had to wrap and run around to his team. And when his team decided that they wanted to commit to the fight, he didn't have a BKB, so he had to play really safe and really afraid. So now he gets spotted out by an Invis, by Sentry and a Ward. I think this Slark just tickles, honestly. I don't know if you can see from that fight, but without the Bloodlust, this man was just, he couldn't even kill a Tiny. It's just sad, honestly.
Oh, they're going for him again. The Mystic Flare combo actually cleans up the Lifestealer. They don't have their Coddle either. BKB is forced off from the Death Prophet. She will use Yule Scepter to keep the Slark away from her, and the get back is called. This Lifestealer does not have buyback. Tiny gets the Avalanche to blink away. And they've minimized their losses here, but losing that Lifestealer so quickly, and this is one of the problems that you see in this draft, where they have so much lockdown and a huge amount of burst from the Skywrath that killing off a hero like the Lifestealer, whose match community is such a big part of the hero, is not all that difficult.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem for him is that he has no way to remove the silence from Skywrath Mage. The moment he gets silenced by Skywrath Mage, he cannot cast Rage, and he's just running around for his life. The moment a Fissure stuns him or an Ogre Fire blasts him, he's just dead to this Mystic Flare. So maybe he should have considered buying a Manta or something, but...
That just feels so strange. Like you commit 5,000 gold to not getting silenced.
Right. And it feels really bad to do that. So,
on a lifestealer,
yeah,
especially.
I understand why he did. Right. I don't know. Maybe he just has to position himself better and hopes that the Arcane Seal gets casted on someone else. But once this Skywrath Mage gets his Ags, it's gonna be really random because you won't ever know like when you're gonna get Arcane Seal. It's like some random target between like I don't know. He's just gonna cast it. Eventually,
and it's gonna happen.
It's just it's gonna happen. Yeah. And you gotta feel real bad about it.
Well, this Gyrocopter's net worth has kind of skyrocketed up. He's very close to an MKB. Ogre Magi maybe in a little bit of trouble. Has the 4-step available, but the Gyrocopter's been caught out here as well. Uses the BKB. The boat will try to run him over, but it's not going to do anything. But the Ogre has already died. Tiny about to fall, but he's going to get the Slark tossed away from him. So now on this front face of the battle, the Gyrocopter immediately goes down, buys back, and King RD is standing strong. But this Exorcism really hurts, and they're not doing enough to take care of this Death Prophet. Slark over to the side. These supports are finding it so difficult to stay alive. The Coddle gets tossed around. The Death Prophet finally dies. Greedy will TP out over to the west. But this fight was in shambles for Unknown. The Slark allowed to just go on the back lines while everybody else was focused on dealing with the Gyrocopter and the Earthshaker.
Well, one thing to note though is that NoPing now have no buyback. So if Unknown wipes them here, I think they win the game immediately. So,
sure, if they wipe them, but this Lifestealer is still dead for 56 seconds, and he doesn't have enough gold for buyback.
This Lifestealer has felt really, really lackluster in these fights. He kind of just gets locked down by either a Silence or a Fissure or the Echo Slam, and he's just dead. Like, there is no way this guy gets out. His supports have been, like, zoned by the Slark so well. Like, Glapsus is doing such a great job in trying to zone his Coddle out, his Tiny out, and, you know, they just don't have the damage to kill the Slark in the backline, just wrecking havoc. And the Lifestealer just doesn't have the Glimmer Capes, doesn't have the 4-stabs necessary to live, so... Great play by NoPing, honestly. They know who their targets are, Slark goes to the backline, while Terrence and this King RD and Skywrath Mage are just doing their jobs.
Again, so much damage on Kunkka as to BKB his way out of it. But all of the racks in the mid and the bottom lanes are done.
I don't know. I think they need to buy a Lotus Sword for this guy. He's just being silenced 24/7. He actually just can't do anything. Someone needs to buy a Lotus Orb at least.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. And the Lotus Orb would help a little bit. Roshan. Don't know when he's going to be up yet. Minimum is 30 seconds. Slark uses his Midas. It feels like this is NoPing's game to lose right now. 15k gold lead, only 2 buybacks left available on the Dire side, and Lifestealer has pretty much nowhere to farm for his either.
Skywrath Mage got his Axe too now, so like 2 people are gonna get concussive shot, and like 2 people are gonna get Ancient Sealed. There's gonna be 2 Mystic Flares flying around in the fight. It's terrifying. This Skywrath Mage is gonna be doing a lot of damage. If you don't kill him early on, or you don't silence him or stun him, he's going to be pumping out a lot of damage. 3 Arcane Bolts per cast, that's a lot of Arcane Bolts. That's more than 2 and less than 4.
I don't know if it's possible to have 3 Arcane Bolts going around the map. I think it might crash the game.
Dude, honestly. Did he take the global concussive shot? No, he didn't. Alright. It's gonna be really funny to have 2. Oh! Just as I say that, he cannot die here. Oh,
Skywrath over to the side, double 4-staff out. The Lifestealer is still going after him. but the Life Stealer gets confused. He goes after the Slark instead. Now King in the middle of everyone. BKB has been used. I think we might just have a straight disengage here. Laps is trying to make his way up, but the BKB, he decides, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm back in. Echo Slam in on the backside, Mystic Flare on 2, and this is so much damage onto the dire side. If they take care of this Life Stealer, that will be the game. Nobody has buyback any longer. Lapsus going man mode up against the Life Stealer, and Life Stealer out of the range. He's not going to be able to stay alive anymore. It's a triple kill for the Skywrath. He's doing so much work. Terrence manages to go for the backside, takes down the Coddle, takes down everybody. A buyback from the Tiny. The boats are still coming in, but it's the last vestiges of hope for this Kunkka. He will probably not be finding a safe harbor for himself anytime soon. Skywrath Mage TP back in. They're going to take down that last tier 3 tower and the final set of racks in the top lane for the Megas. Everybody's been silenced. Nobody can talk. Mystic Flare goes down on both of them. Skywrath is like, don't worry, guys. I got this soloed. Force Staff over to the side. Still going to get hit by the Torrent, and he goes up in there with the toss, and he's going to stand right next to the Tiny. Ignite coming through. The Skywrath Mage is still not going to die, and the pause comes out for the GG call. NoPing take game number 1.
Dude, this Skywrath Mage did so much damage in the fight. Oh my god. He like pretty much insta-killed the Life Stealer and the Kunkka in that fight.
Yeah, that definitely set things up for NoPing, and you can see how strong that Aghanim Scepter is.
Yeah. I mean, like, just like I said, you know, they have to kill the Skywrath Mage, or he's just gonna solo carry these fights. And you can tell that they knew that they had to go for the Skywrath, but Brainy just did such a great job in like forcing his force staffing the Skywrath away to safety, and he just lived. And you got to do his damage. So.
Well, that's gonna do it for game number 1. NoPing Esports take it, and that is actually a very important match. That gives them 3 points, tying them with Unknown and putting them in to, I guess, second place at this point. So if they win the next match, that gives them, you know, sole second place and a possibility of getting into the playoff for the major qualifier spot. So
all right, hopefully they come back strong, like the second game.
Hopefully they can. Well, we'll see if they can secure it or not, or if Unknown will come back and put themselves back into sole second. We'll go to a break and we'll play some ads, but we will be back with that match in just a